Hello and welcome to my first post-Easter ramble. I hope you've had a good break over the Easter period and that you've found time to do family things if you've been able to see family at all, even if by Zoom or something like that. We had a good Holy Week and Easter at St Mary's. We were able to use some cantors who sang very well, and that just gave the liturgy just a little bit of edge. It's very frustrating when people can't sing the hymns, so I suppose second best is actually to hear somebody else singing the hymns for them. So that worked very well. I wonder if you caught up with Easter at King's on Holy Saturday, a wonderful recording made back at Christmas time when, if you remember, the choral scholars, 2 or 3 of the choral scholars suffered from the virus, and so they had to bring the King's Singers in. And again, it was a very beautiful broadcast with some lovely music. So if you didn't see it, I do encourage you to look in again, tune in again, BBC Sounds, I think. And I know a number of you were able to watch my Sacred Harmony TBN UK broadcasts with some super shots of Swanage, and we were very pleased with them. They seemed to go very well, and we've had some very good feedback. Again, if you weren't able to watch those, you can catch them now on demand, tbnuk.com, and if you look on demand, all 3 programmes are there. Some really lovely music, and spare his blushes, Rector John was just amazing, and his meditations, and some wonderful readers as well. So if you didn't catch them, do have a look, just for the music, forget me. So what else has happened this week? My dog got a bit poorly last week, but he seems to have made it through, and he seems okay now, so that's good. So, oh yes, what do we do at this point? Quick fire 5. You had 2 weeks to find out the answers to last time. So I've got them in front of me. There are 1 or 2 issues that arise from last week's one, so I'm prepared to be challenged on the answers. So, first question was, how many Anglican cathedrals have a dedication to St Mary? Somewhere, excuse me, somewhere to St Mary. It can be a dedication to more than one. Oh, here's the dog, he's looking up now. Well, I think the answer is 13 UK cathedrals. I think it's 13. And in no particular order: Southall, Manchester, Durham, Chester, Blackburn, Worcester, Southwark, Rochester, Lincoln, Lichfield, Hereford, Chelmsford, and of course Salisbury. So that's what I reckon, but I'm prepared to be challenged on that if somebody wants to correct me, but I think that's right. Okay, question 2, why is a verger so called? Well, of course the answer is that his wand, his rod, his virga, branch or rod, is called a verge, and he leads the processions. And in the old days they were also used to move animals out of the way, or overzealous people as well, so that's why he's called a verger. He has lots of other jobs now. Question number 3, how many symphonies did Haydn write? Well, I was always taught at school that it was 104. It's actually 106, although only 104 are catalogued and only 104 have numbers, but actually it's 106. Question number 4, who wrote the contemporary hymn, The Servant King? And the answer to that is Graham Kendrick, and if you watch Sacred Harmony, you can see the choir performing it. Finally, very random question, which Archbishop crowned Queen Elizabeth II? And the answer is Archbishop Geoffrey Fisher. Did you get that right? So there's your 5 for last week, and so 5 for this week. And there's an Easter theme running through these. So question number 1 is the lovely hymn, Love's Redeeming Work is Done. What is the second line of the hymn, Love's Redeeming Work is Done? Question number 2, a bit of sleuth work needed here. How many alleluias are there in the hymn Jesus Christ is Risen Today? How many times do we sing alleluia? Work that one out. Question number 3, slightly tricky. The lovely Easter carol hymn, This Joyful Easter Tide, which we all know, has got an arrangement which we all sing, and we all know, oh, I know the tenor part to that bit, or whatever. Do you know who harmonised and arranged it? We've talked about this particular composer quite recently, so Question number 4 also has a link from a question last year. Blessed Be the God and Father by Wesley, that wonderful Easter-tide anthem, was written when Wesley was organist of Hereford Cathedral. And so the story goes, it was written for the cathedral choristers, for the organ, but there weren't any men in the choir at the time, so there was only one man who could sing it, and so it was written for him. Do you remember who he was? I've told you this before. If you don't, you'll be interested to hear the story. And question number 5 is a curveball. No relation to Easter, no relation to music really, just a fun question. Many of you, I'm sure, will have been fans of the Goons. I certainly was when I was younger. Well, I still am. And I always found Spike Milligan a very funny man. Now, Spike Milligan is buried in a lovely graveyard, Winchelsea I think it is, near Hastings, by the sea there. But one of the things that's most well known is what he had inscribed on his tombstone. Do you know what Spike Milligan had inscribed on his tombstone? It's quite brilliant. Okay, see what I mean? Nothing to do with anything, I just thought it'd be fun. So there we go, that's this week's Quickfire 5. Good luck, see how you get on. As ever at this point, www.swanishteam.com to look on the website for the online service, and again also there are live services now in all our churches, which is fantastic. I should have mentioned that before. And we can see you at church or you can watch online. Okay. So for today's recommendation for listening, as it's Easter, I thought I'd go for a biggie. And in fact, rather than recommend one piece to you, I'm going to recommend 5 pieces to you, but they are all part of one opus. And that work is by Vaughan Williams, and it is the 5 Mystical Songs. 5 Mystical Songs were written to be performed all together, really, between about 1906 and 1911, and they were first performed at the Three Choirs Festival in Worcester in 1911, with Vaughan Williams actually conducting them himself. And 4 of them are based on, are poems, not based, they are poems by the wonderful poet and priest George Herbert, taken from his collection The Temple, the Sacred Poems of the Temple. So there's Easter, Rise Heart, The Call, Love Bade Me Welcome. And then the last, and they're all different. They're sort of meditations really. They're set for baritone, solo and chorus. And sometimes the chorus does quite a lot and sometimes the chorus does very little. And sometimes the chorus doesn't do anything, like in The Call. And they're sort of meditations, personal meditations. And then the last one, which is Let All the World in Every Corner Sing, which is just totally exuberant and wonderful. So if you don't know these, I do urge you to listen to them. They're very, very beautiful. I'm going to point you to a website of St John's College, Cambridge, where you can get all 5 of them and the text, and you can listen to them through. But I'll also put a link for you to a YouTube video of the Choir of Kings, Cambridge, singing number 1, Easter, Rise Heart. So you can watch them singing it as well. They are wonderful pieces, and yeah, I just encourage you to listen, to indulge yourself in them. Good, so I expect you're a little bit rusty. We're very excited that next Friday, the 16th of April, we're going to be getting the St Mary's Choir back together to start choir practices again, with a view to starting singing at services the following week, because government guidelines are allowing us to do that as long as we're carefully socially distanced and we adhere to all the COVID recommendations. So let's just do a couple of very simple exercises today just to ease you in gradually. I'm here at the piano. Let's just sing to ooh. 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. And we change to E. One more. Now another old favourite. How about doing sea blue car, 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 sea blue car. Sea blue car, 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 sea blue car. Sea blue car, 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 sea blue Last one. Good. And one more real favourite. A-R-E. 1, 2, 3. That'll do my croaky voice for today. So, hope that was good for you. So, I hope that you have a good weekend and hope the sun comes out. I know some of you have been swimming in the sea as well recently. No names, but I know you have been. But anyway, have a great weekend and hopefully see you all very soon.